Last graph is the secant graph. Woo! Finally made it. All right, so secant is the same thing as 1 over cosine, just like we talked about. Cosecant was 1 over sine. So again, with these values, we're going to put them in a calculator and we're going to find the values. And we're going to do 1 over cosine of negative pi over 2. 1 over cosine of negative 3 pi over 2. And again, we're going to cancel out or cross out these here, the pi over 4s. So that way we can just focus on those parts that we need to focus on and we should be good. But if you want to go back and actually find out what is secant of 5 pi over 4 or 7 pi over 4 or anything of that sort, you can always go back and try it and see what happens there. But for right now, we're not going to. All right, so again, find those values and then we're going to come back. All right, now with this one again, if you go back and think about the cosine graph, which I know you guys know, the parts that are actually zeros again will be the undefineds, and the parts that are ones would pretty much be ones. Ones or negative ones, all that stuff. So here, for this part, the pi over 2s where the zeros were. So our pi over 2s are going to always be undefined. Because if we flip 0, it makes it undefined. Golly, this is bad. A u, and then the u here. But with that again, if you remember back from the cosine graph, it started at 0, it was up at 1. So here our graph is going to be 1 there again. Then at 0 was pi over 2 was 0. So flipping that's actually undefined. At pi it was negative 1. And then back at 0, flip that's undefined. And then back at 1 again, positive 1. And so here we go backwards. This is going to be negative 1 for pi, and then that's going to be positive 1 for negative 2 pi. So going back and forth like that. All right, so when we do our graph, again, I'm going to graph out the cosine graph. Whew, my God. And then I'm going to go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this out. It's the actual cosine graph. And again, you should have this on that graphic organizer I gave you guys while I was you should have that graphic organizer, and you should be able to just go ahead and put it from there and actually just put the values here, because you already did all the transformations and all that great stuff from there. So again, I'm going to do this in dotted line. Dotted line, dotted line, dotted line. Ooh, ooh, Jesus, have mercy. Started off really well. Remember again, make it nice and curvy. All your curves and all your edges. Again, where the zeros are, that's where we're going to put our asymptotes. So 0's here, 0 here, 0 here, and 0 here. And wherever the point is, that's where we go up or down. So this is above the line, so we go up. This one's below the line, so we go down. Whew, that's bad. This goes up. This goes down. All right, so again, when we do it, get rid of this. Oh, they didn't all go together this time. Huh, it's all good. So taking off the cosine graph, this is what the secant graph looks like. Sorry, I forgot this last part back here. Oh. So if the cosine graph was there, you would see that it would come here and hit these points. So if you know the cosecant graph, if you know the secant graph, or if you know the sine and cosine graph, you should be able to figure out the secant and cosecant. So here, with that, again, these go on forever and ever. That's why there's arrows on both sides. But after this, again, go ahead and write down at least 8 or 9 lines underneath it, and you're going to fill in the next part. And now that next part is this. I want you to go in the textbook. I want you to go to these pages of 396 and 397. And in each one of these, for tangent, cotangent, cosecant, and secant, there are notes there or properties that are there that I need you to write underneath each one of these tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant, because they're going to help you with remembering where pieces are, where things are, but then also it's going to help us with answering questions later on. So go ahead and grab a book if you don't already have one, and I want you to go to these pages, and I want you to go ahead and find those values, and well, find the properties and write the properties down for each one of them, for each one of these 4 graphs. And at this point, you should have all 6 graphs, and so we're good on that. All right, cool.